Well, just real proud of the way our team came out and competed from the first inning on against a very good Dallas Baptist team, a team that's had 40 wins this year, plays in a really good conference in the Missouri Valley. But, I think at the end of the day, our guys were able to establish some momentum and continue that momentum, scoring 5 of the 8 innings. And then, of course, Nick Sandlin and his ability to keep the opposition from scoring. Obviously, a couple of innings there where they had a chance to create some momentum, but he was able to pitch out of it. One was second and third and one out and got out of there. And then the other one, 2 innings later, bases loaded, one out situation, and induced the 6-4-3 double play. So very proud of the way our guys competed. Cole Donaldson really backside some balls tonight the other way, big double. One of 2 hits that inning. Irby had the other 2 out RBI hit as well. So, I think that was a real big moment for us in that inning when we scored those 2 runs to make it 3-0.
All right, questions for the student athletes? Raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you.
How you feeling after that performance?
I feel pretty good. Heck, it was my best game all year, but I feel good after that. I need to get some fluids back in me and get ready to do it again tomorrow.
Nick, in the 2 situations, second and third, 1 out, bases loaded, 1 out. Just what did you do? What were you getting them to do there?
Not really trying. Just trying to minimize right there in those innings. It was all right if 1 run scored. We had the lead, the whole game pretty much with our offense swinging it well. So, really trying to minimize there, and just lucky enough to get that 1 ball right at Lebo, and then get some guys to chase in that 3rd or 4th inning, whatever it was, when the bases were loaded, and just trying to do that job of minimizing, really.
Nick, did you have to get a little crafty out there tonight? Were you, after the first couple innings, did you kind of need to go to some different stuff than you normally do?
I don't really know how much different it was than normal, but I definitely had to throw, a good bit of sliders and changeups, really keep them off balance. I think they had a pretty good approach and good eye at the plate, so you could tell they can swing it, and they hit some hard balls. I was just lucky enough to get them right at them, and we played good defense behind me.
Any more questions for the student athletes?
Hunter, Cole had a fine night, but you did as well. Getting the ball rolling in the 2nd inning with your opposite field home run, just what did you see on that pitch, and just how big it was to get you guys going in that moment?
Yeah, that pitch was a changeup. He kind of threw everything right at me that first at bat there. I started him out with a fastball, and then breaker ball, fastball, and then a changeup. I just wanted to go that side of the field, and he gave me a pitch to do it with, and so that's what happened.
This one's for Cole. Just talk a little bit more about the night. 5 RBIs. I guess you're getting closer to Missouri. Maybe that had something to do with it. But, just go through those at-bats a little bit, because you took 2 the opposite way and then absolutely squared that other one up down the line.
Yeah, I went up there just trying not to do too much and BP before the game. Kind of worked on a few things and just kind of feeling it around. And, trying not to do too much. My first at-bat drew a walk, and the next few at-bats just kind of, zeroed in and kind of just looked for a pitch that I could handle, and just kind of worked from there.
If I'm not mistaken, you were like 3-1 on the home run and the double. Are you looking there for a particular area?
Yeah, right there. It's you kind of zero in, look for your pitch, something that you can really put a good barrel on, and I was fortunate enough to get one.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right, fellas, thank you for your time. We'll do the same thing for Coach Berry. Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
Coach, How would you describe Nick's outing? Because if you look at his whip, it's really good, but he led 7 runners in 7 innings today. So, I mean, was it pretty average for him?
Well, I'll tell you, Dallas Baptist really battled him. Like he said, I thought that they laid off some pitches. Of course, he had his strikeouts, but, he was 102 pitches, I think, is what he left the game at through 7 innings. So they ran that pitch count up, drew 3, what do you have, 3 walks, which is usually not him. So, I thought that they competed really well. Somebody might argue and say, well, they had 10 strikeouts, but that pitch count, being able to really fatigue him, put some pressure on him, those 2 innings, particularly second and third, and then the bases loaded. They were one swing away from really getting themselves back into it. So, they did a good job, and he did too. We're getting late in the year, and he's getting tired. It was hot out there tonight. I could tell that he was wringing wet. Cole was wringing wet. So I was glad that we had that lead to kind of get them out of there and let them kind of recover a little bit.
Coach, pitching plan for tomorrow, can you say who you might speak, pitch, what his repertoire is?
Well, we'll go with Stevie Powers, left-handed pitcher. He's a junior for us. He's been following Nick pretty much all the year in that 2 spot. We've bumped him to Friday a couple of times when Nick was needing a little rest, and we rested him on the weekend. So he's handled it really well. He's a guy that throws strikes. Pretty much your regular left-hander with 3 pitches. But he's really developed. The first year I think he had 5 or 6 starts as a true freshman. Last year he had 29 appearances, all out of the bullpen. We used him more as a matchup this year because of the draft kind of gutting our weekend staff last year with them all signing. That was the decision to start moving him into a starting role, particularly giving us a left-handed option after losing McCarty. So he is taken the challenge well for us this year. I've seen his development really improve with each outing, as well as his confidence. So we feel good with Stevie taking the mound for us tomorrow.
Right back here. Go ahead, Grant.
It's going to be no different than anybody else. I won't lie to you. We know that they're a very offensive club. I know they're 31-3 at home. All those things, obviously are big challenges. But, if you look and keep the game simple, every game's a challenge. It's hard to win any game. I don't care. You talk to any coach out there in Division I baseball today, winning a game of baseball is hard. So we're not going to approach anything different. We've got 44 wins. We've been playing really well. I want our guys to come out here and not get in their own way. I want them to be humble after the first win in this regional tonight, and come out tomorrow and embrace the opportunity to win a baseball game. The opponent happens to be Arkansas tomorrow night, but I want us to play the game of baseball and win the game of baseball. Yes, sir.
It looked like you had 6 left-handed batters in the starting lineup tonight. Is that a typical thing? And tomorrow, going against the lefty, I'm assuming it may change some.
I don't know if lefties are comfortable hitting against lefties, but our guys have learned to compete, and that's just the way it is. I haven't steered away from that much at all. Guys in the big leagues, they learn to hit left-handed pitchers, or they're not in the lineup, and that's kind of the approach that we've been. So there won't be any changes tomorrow.
Seeing Strickland tonight, does that mean we might not see him if there's later in the tournament in a starting role, just given what he did last week?
No. I mean, it's certainly all options are open. I think it was important right there. We'd already gotten him kind of loosened up before we had those runs anyway. So I think it was important to give him a little taste of this atmosphere or this environment, and not necessarily crowd and everything, but just the background and what he's pitching to. And then, of course, being able to get Keller in there as well. 2 guys that played big roles for us last Sunday in our conference tournament. So, I think it worked out pretty good today. But, yeah, we'll take it a game-by-game approach, Jason. Our plan tomorrow is to do what we can to win that game just like it was today.